What is your favorite word?
My favorite word of all time is passion, and I've loved it for a long, long time.
What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word is limitation, and I think it represents the fact that I don't want any bounds or limits on me or what the world can accomplish.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Many things, however, the biggest is people, just being around, interacting with people, playing off of each other's energy, and through that, getting a lot of learning. I have unwavering curiosity, and so I love to learn.
And what turns that off?
Control, not having the freedom to flow, but control actually turns that off.
What is your favorite curse word?
Well, I really try not to swear. I really find the F word offensive, and it's so prevalent in so many movies. But I would say darn is probably one that I might use the most. It's not really quite a swear word.
What sound or noise do you love?
I love natural sounds in nature. For example, water flowing like a waterfall, birds chirping, just all of those sounds, wind in the trees, and then the sounds of laughter, babies cooing. I love those sounds.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Well, I don't like traffic sounds, and I don't like cries of pain or agony. I try to surround myself with positive sounds and people.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I have always wanted in my life at some point to be an elected public servant, a politician of sorts. Opportunity really hasn't opened yet for me, but you never know. And it combines the idea of people and policy and making a big impact. So maybe being an elected official.
What profession would you not like to do?
Well, I think it would be really interesting, to experiment and experience lots of little jobs, something like what the author of the book Nickel and Dime did, and she went and became a waitress and other things. And so I think for me, a job that was very limiting or constrained, that where I could only be at my desk and not have a chance to interact with people would be something that would be difficult for me to do.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, that's a wonderful question. I do believe in God and getting to the pearly gates. And so I'd like to hear, you've made a difference. You lived a good life, job well done. And then I'd like to have a conversation with God, and God would begin to ask me, well, what did you learn? And did you learn what you set out to learn?
Tell me a short story that changed your life.
When I was in high school many years ago, and I would interact with my German teacher over lunch, and she said to me one day, Theresa, I see you as an engineer. And I was like, really? Oh my goodness, I hadn't really thought of that. See, I liked mathematics. I liked so many things. I wasn't really certain what I wanted to do with my life. And so this set me on a course, yes, to pursue mathematics for my undergraduate degree, but that opened the door for me to go on to engineering career with Bell Labs, which led to many other things. And so what I would say to people is, you never know the impact you might have on others, and realize that feedback to others is very valuable and it may change someone's life. I see life as a pursuit of passionate purpose. There's a process for that where you align a passion, your passion, with a purpose. You pursue it with your heart and soul, and then you eventually make progress. So the question is, how do you know if you're making progress in work and in life? And so back when I was a Bell Labs engineer, my boss, Nelson, came up to me one day and he said, Theresa, why are you sighing so much? And I said, really? I'm sighing? See, I had no idea that I was sighing. And so this feedback, again, from someone outside of myself was really, really helpful. And it ultimately changed my life. And so I now use this monitor of whether I am sighing or whether I am smiling as an indicator on whether or not I am on track. And if I'm sighing a lot, that means that something needs to change. And the question is, what might you change? And so I like to advise people in my consulting and in my speaking and coaching to follow their smiles. And in that, you can be a lot more productive and joyful. And so in this case, it actually moved me to move out of engineering into the business side of the company, which ultimately allowed me to gain the skills which helped me start and run my own company, my own entrepreneurial pursuit. So follow the smiles more than the sighs.